And welcome to Sports on Tap. We're live right now from the Brunswick Gymnasium, the East Gym, Josh, we might remember very well.
Yes, a lot of legends played on this court, including myself and you, Rob.
Legends.
Legends of the Pine. That's all right, though.
We are here, and right now the Brunswick basketball team is practicing, getting ready for their matchup coming this Saturday. And we're going to talk to head coach Joe Mackey later on in the show. Some players coming up as first time in history the Brunswick Blue Devils have won their conference this year.
So we should call them conference champions.
They are the conference champions.
Greater Cleveland Conference champions.
You are correct. So what a great feat. You know, it's been a long time, and right now they're practicing shooting free throws, which is always something good. It is. And you know, with the Cleveland Cavaliers, sometimes we always say they need to practice their free throws or go back to fundamentals and practice their free throws because they've struggled a little bit this year. But, guys, you know, it's a different situation here, being right on the court, watching the Brunswick Blue Devils practice. You know, overall, what a great year. 18 wins for Brunswick this year, 4 losses. Headed into the playoffs. What are your thoughts from this year, you know, watching this team develop throughout the year?
Well, their losses are to very, very good teams, for one. Cleveland Central Catholic is a perennial power in their respective division. You know, Medina and Elyria, those are tough. Those are always tough conference games, and you know, they always seem to give Brunswick a little bit of trouble. You know, I believe their other loss was that an out-of-state team they lost to?
Yeah, I think it was Lafayette in Kentucky. Yeah.
You know, and even so, even that Cleveland Central Catholic game, I don't believe that was originally on the schedule. I think they filled in for a team. You know, Brunswick was fortunate enough to have an opportunity to take that challenge, and you know, they jumped in, and you know, if nothing else, it was a really good measuring stick to see where they were at, where they needed to go, and we obviously saw the benefits of that when they came into the conference play.
Yeah, you know, it was fun to really watch them go through some, you know, a tough game versus Medina where they actually lost back-to-back games to Medina and I can't.
Elyria.
Yeah, Elyria back-to-back. And then they strung some wins together. And, I mean, what a year. It easily could have been a tough year where, you know, they take those few losses and then it goes down into a downward spiral. But they continued to win, and you know, 18-4 on the year is just unbelievable. Where they have, you know, some key seniors on this team, which hopefully we'll talk to some of them before. I know they have a team dinner at Panini's at about 8 o'clock tonight. So not a bad spot to have dinner at, but we'll hopefully talk to some of them. But right now we're going to bring in Josh Herron. He's a player and a coach, and he's gone through an unbelievable battle, and he'll tell you a little bit about his story and what's kind of been going on. And Josh, thanks for joining us here today.
No problem. Glad to be here.
Talk a little bit about your story, what you've gone through. You know, you were a player and a coach now, and talk about what happened, and just tell everyone, you know, what's going on now.
Well, my freshman year playing here, I started playing my freshman year basketball, played the first 4 games, and I knew I was going to have surgery to end my season. But we went into that surgery thinking that I had a mass on my leg that we thought was a benign tumor. Got the results back from that, finding out it was cancer. So I went through chemotherapy for about a year, which kind of put me out of sports, obviously. And then came back, took about a full year, so January to January. I finished treatment. So I didn't play basketball that year. I kind of got ready for the baseball season. I played baseball for the high school my sophomore year. And after that, broke the same leg where the tumor was, at an open gym here in the summer, which set me back for that whole summer, obviously. So I wasn't able to play baseball that summer. Then junior year came, and I was coming off that injury and was planning on trying to play basketball, and had a blood disease, an autoimmune type disease, where that held me out of basketball again. and most of the baseball season. So last year, what Coach Mackey did with me was I became like a student assistant of sorts for the team, doing stats, helping with film, stuff like that, because that's something I want to pursue in the future anyways. So there's a lot of good experience with Coach Mackey, obviously one of the better coaches in the area. So then this year I've practiced with the team, and I dress most games. I've gotten in a couple, which has been cool to play with the guys that I've been with my whole career.
Yeah, you actually started a game not too long ago.
Yeah.
Tell us about that, how that was. I know you had a lot of fan support and family on that day.
Oh yeah, that was awesome. Mike and Zach and Aaron are three guys that I played travel with my whole life, and to be out there with them and to see the support of the community was awesome. It was really just an indescribable feeling that night. Really cool.
As within obviously you've gone through some unfortunate circumstances and whatnot, but have you been able to see maybe a different side of the game that you maybe didn't realize while you were playing full time?
Yeah, definitely. When you're on the sidelines as opposed to on the court, you pick up on a lot more things, and you see, like, sometimes when you're playing, you get mad if coach is yelling at you, but then when you're on the sideline, you see, oh yeah, I should have been yelled at there, or stuff like that. So yeah, definitely, I see a totally different side of the game, and I've learned so much about the game from all the coaches over the past couple of years.
Do some of your teammates maybe come to you and say, hey, maybe they come to you maybe on the sideline if you're sitting on the bench and say, hey, Josh, what'd you see here? Hey, is there something that you think I'd do better?
Yeah, more so last year because I would dress like as a coach. I didn't dress like I wasn't rostered last year. But yeah, sometimes I'll watch film with them one-on-one and just little things like that. Nothing too major, but I've definitely learned a lot the past couple of years.
How have you been able to keep such a positive attitude, going through a lot? It's pretty easy to probably say, you know what, this isn't worth it. Maybe I should just stay home and, kind of just hang out instead of going and doing what you love, with basketball and baseball and helping with the team.
That's just never been me. I mean, I've always wanted to be around basketball and baseball, and I never once did I think that I wouldn't be able to play basketball or I wouldn't be able to play baseball again. Being able to play baseball in college is something that I've wanted to do since I was probably 5 years old, and I'm gonna get that opportunity next year, fortunately, still. But it never really crossed my mind that this was gonna hold me back from being around the things I love. It was just now is in a different capacity as to what I would probably have expected when I was younger. But it's still been a lot of fun just to be around these guys all the time.
Talk a little bit about, you mentioned being around the team and how much that's helped you. What aspects of being around the team do you really feel that, drove that sort of survivor, if you want to call it that, or something like that? What did you, get from that? What did you give to the team as far as that was concerned? You guys are on a very historic run for the school. That's in and of itself a very positive thing to do, but given your situation, what went on, obviously that's another thing that they can draw from and you can draw from them. So talk a little bit about what the team's meant to you and maybe what you think you meant to the team.
I'll being around these guys, like they've most of them have been my best friends since that we've known each other for a long time, and they were always there. They would visit me at the hospital, come over to my house when I got home. And I never, they always did a good job keeping me involved with things when I would be out of the hospital. Because there'd be times when I'd be in for weeks at a time. And they could have easily, just kind of figured I was sick or whatever. But they always kept me around doing things. And that helped a lot, obviously, because I still had friends to hang out with when I was at home. And as far as what I meant to them, I don't really know, to be honest, but I just think it's something in the back of their minds that I've been through some stuff that when they have to dig down deep to get a stop or whatever, anything in the weight room, stuff like that, it just helps them get through that a little bit maybe.
Talk about some of the games this year. You guys lost 2 games in a row. Talk about how they recovered, from coming back from 2 losses. It's pretty easy to get down and all of a sudden go in a downward spiral, and it seemed like this team recovered and has been winning ever since those 2 games versus Elyria and Medina.
Yeah, well, so we lost to Central Catholic on a Sunday, and then came back on Tuesday, lost to Medina. Since then, we've won 11 of 12. That first game, day after we played Medina on a Tuesday night, came back against Euclid on Friday, and just played really well. It was the first time we had a home game in quite a while, and that was the first game I actually got in, first time I dressed. So it was we just played really well, and never looked back since then. I don't think there was no one pouted, no one got down on themselves after we lost. We lost to 2 very good teams. All 4 of our losses this year have been really, really good teams. We played a tough schedule.
And they've been pretty close games, really. Cleveland Central Catholic was, I think, a 4-point loss. I know Medina and Elyria were both also close games there.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, in the game we lost to Lafayette, we lost at the buzzer by 1. Elyria hit a shot against us from about 30 feet to send it to overtime. Ended up beating us by 2. So we've been in every game this year. There's never been a second in any game where you thought we wouldn't be able to win it.
Elyria has a way of doing that against the Brunswick Blue Devils. I remember back in the early, I think the mid to late 2000s, they did the same. I think it was in the playoff game. They hit a half-court shot and beat us then, and that was in the playoffs, no less. So I mean, a team like Elyria, I mean, you really gotta step on their throat and put them away, because they just have a tendency to stick around, and if you let them stick around too much, that'll happen. So we talked a little bit about the losses, but let's talk about some of the better wins that you guys have had this year. What are some of the wins that you would consider signature wins?
I think the first game that when I really thought this team could be special was when we played a team for Pennsylvania called Kennedy Catholic in the King James tournament, and they were really good. They have a 6'8", 6'9" kid going to West Virginia. They played like a full court 1-3-1. They were long, and we were down 9-0 after the first quarter, and we didn't score the whole quarter. And to see us fight back from that and pull out Mike hit a buzzer beater for a 1-point victory. That was a game where I really that was just huge. They're a really good team. They've won a ton of state championships in whatever division they're in Pennsylvania. So a very well-respected program. That was a huge one for us. And then beating Medina here, too, was huge, because we knew that we had to win that one if we wanted to have a shot at the conference. But, I mean, there's not really one game on our schedule that you can look at and say that Brunswick should have won that game. Every game we play is tough. Our conference is really good.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, how do you stop a player? John Teskey at Medina, he's 7'1", and, can shoot from all over the place.
I know how I'd stop him.
Yeah, take out his knees?
Absolutely.
Wow.
When I play basketball, I got a certain number of fouls I'm allowed to give.
Yeah.
And that
Got
guy's,
this is true.
And that guy's going to receive at least 3 of them. That's why I didn't play basketball in high school.
He fouled out in the first 2 minutes of the game.
Well,
normally.
it was the whole going up and down the court thing at full speed
Tough.
and having to stop. I don't do that.
But how do you stop a player of that level? I mean, he's a very impressive kid that can shoot. He's tall, and can cause some mismatches.
Mm-hmm.
How did you guys focus and pull out that win against a player like that?
Well, it starts with our coaching staff. We have one of the best in Ohio, hands down. And Aaron's our biggest guy. He's 6'6", and we're able to still beat them. So that just shows you how much heart this team has defensively, all 5 guys. And, I mean, obviously you're not going to completely shut him down. I mean, no one's going to. He's really good. He's going to Michigan. He's not just good down low. He can shoot it. He does a multitude of things that make him a threat. But we've done a decent job containing him, whether it be double teams, stuff like just mixing up looks. I think we've done a pretty good job on him so far for the size we have.
We had a couple of guys from Strongsville on recently, and we talked a little bit off air about how the environment was going to be when Brunswick and Strongsville played, and obviously the three of us here are all from Brunswick, and we were really interested in their conversation, and they were really jacked up to play. To play Brunswick, and when it came down to really clinching a share of the conference against Strongsville, I mean, was that game treated any other differently than the other games?
we knew that was a huge game. So we played Medina that Tuesday, and then Friday we had to come back and play Strongsville, who had just beat Medina, had just beat Elyria, coming off really good wins against two teams that had already beaten us. So we knew it was going to be a tough game at their place, senior night. But to win, to clinch a share of your conference on your rival's home court was an awesome feeling, and to see alumni and people that kids there that I've watched, well, adults now, but kids that I watched when I was in second and third grade, and to be able to do it for them and all the teams that never had a chance to, it was just an awesome feeling. Coach Sabula is Zach's dad. He's coached us. He was our travel coach for years. Just to see him celebrate, and Coach Mackey, who deserves it more than any coach I know, it was just an awesome feeling all around.
We'll talk about the coaching staff and what they've done to prepare this team this year. Coach Mackey has been here 20 years now, and I believe he's the leader in wins in Medina County now for boys basketball. I mean, he's done an unbelievable job in that area, and with every team, it seems like he gets the most out of these guys. Talk about what kind of coaching job the coaching staff and Coach Mackey has done with this group this year.
Well, it all starts in the off season, which doesn't really exist for us. We have about usually a month break after the tournament ends, but after that we're right back to work with open gyms or whatever's allowed at the time. We go really hard in the weight room. All these guys do a great job weightlifting and making sure they get stronger, and they all work at their games over the summer. We have skill sessions when that's allowed over the summer, and we play in summer leagues, and everyone shows up. And then in season, the coaches all do a great job scouting, watching film, breaking things down, making sure that we know our opponents as well as they know themselves, which I think is a huge key for us. And we have some of the smartest guys. I mean, these guys all played in college. They know what they're talking about, and they do a really good job.
Well, I can say when we played, the weight room wasn't necessarily a hard-hitting room for a lot of guys. You go in the weight room, and it's a conversation, and I think I lift up the bar a few times.
Have you guys seen the weight room?
No, I haven't.
No. Wow. Since the last time you guys probably saw it, it's literally 180 degrees.
I might have to see it
Because
the gym looks a lot different. I mean, this is probably the first or second time I've been into the gym since I graduated high school. It's been that long since I've been here, and a lot of things have changed.
Last time I was in here, they still had wooden bleachers.
Those are classic.
Well, and the blue wasn't as
Those
nice.
are probably more comfortable than the ones we have now.
Yeah, you're right. The blue was more of a lighter blue and not the dark.
Yeah, it doesn't match.
It was a very faded blue back in the day.
Yeah.
So this week, so I believe you guys will be taking on Highland this week.
Right.
This will be Saturday night, I believe.
Yep.
7
7 o'clock here.
Very nice. Excellent
Perfect.
plug. I like it. Well done. So what are the team's thoughts about matching up against Highland?
A lot of us went to watch them last night. We know it's not going to be an easy game. We played them the first game of the year, and we didn't blow them out. It was a close game. Both teams fought hard, so it's definitely not going to be easy. They've got a lot of good players, so we just got to get better this week and make sure we're watching film and stuff and knowing our assignments and our jobs. We got a lot to prepare for.
Yeah, it was a low-scoring game, so we'll see what happens. Right now, we're going to step away. We'll take a short break, and when we come back, we're going to have a few players come on and talk with us before they have to leave. Josh, thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much.
And talking a little insight there.
Thanks for having me.
We appreciate it.
Well done.
All right, we're live from Brunswick High School. When we come back, we'll have some players and Coach Mackey all coming up live from the East Gym in Brunswick, Ohio, Brunswick High School. Sean's making fun of me. I'm Rob Troutman. We have Josh Jeffy, Edick, and Sean Duffy. We'll be right back.